Comprehensive planning for student success. Self-determination, Module 2, Lesson 2. DC and Ryan are two psychologists that developed self-determination theory and have contributed a great deal to the field of education and special education with their theory. DC et al., 1991, wrote that self-determination in education is promoting in students an interest in learning, a value in an education, and a confidence in their own capabilities and attributes. Self-monitoring reinforces self-determination. Comprehensive planning for student success. Self-determination, Module 2, Lesson 2. DC and Ryan are two psychologists that developed self-determination theory and have contributed a great deal to the field of education and special education with their theory. DC et al., 1991, wrote that self-determination in education is promoting in students an interest in learning, a value in education, and a confidence in their own capabilities and attributes. Self-monitoring reinforces self-determination, and the student takes an active role in monitoring their own behavior. Let's review for a second. What is self-determination?
Our three basic needs are autonomy, competence, and relatedness. We've heard some things about them today, but I'm just going to briefly say what they are. For us, relatedness is feeling cared for and connected to others. It has to do with a sense of belonging, a feeling that you matter to the other people that are there, and relatedness is enhanced not just by people treating you warmly and including you, but it's also enhanced by your giving to them and your being able to matter in their lives. That's part of what helps us feel connected. So it's not a one-way street in relatedness, it has to do with both, and again, we'll show evidence to that effect. Competence is really commonly studied in psychology. Most theories of psychology would probably agree with us on this one point, which is competence is essential to wellness. To feel effective in your environment, to have some sense of mastery of the things that are important to you, very, very important, and environments can have a big impact on that experience. And then finally, finally autonomy, which has been probably the most controversial, but also the most central of our psychological needs in the sense of research and our integrative mission, so to speak. Autonomy refers to behavior that is self-endorsed, that you agree with and find congruent within yourself. And so autonomy here means that you feel choiceful, self-initiating, and when you're fully autonomous, you're wholeheartedly behind the thing that you're doing. And again, because of that wholeheartedness, that's why performance tends to be better when you're acting out of autonomous motives.
So how will your students benefit from self-determination skills? According to these authors, there are a lot of behaviors and skills that come out of being self-determined. For increased engagement, research by Bullis et al. In 2002 found that youth increased time engaged with transition coordinators. Other research shows that students showed positive educational achievement and increased time working academic tasks. Employment experiences. Students with high determination were found to be employed at a higher rate than their peers and earning more than their peers with low self-determination. They also made advances in obtaining job benefits such as vacation, sick leave, and health insurance. Check out Waymeyer and Palmer 2003 for more information about those benefits. Workplace social skills were improved. Students with emotional disabilities were more likely to obtain their desired employment outcomes and more likely to have positive engagement in competitive employment activities. For participation in IEP planning, students increased their participation in IEP meetings using self-directed IEP curriculum. Youth with high self-determination were likely to take a leadership role in their training transition planning process. For enhanced skills, research found higher levels of goal completion by people with self-determination, improved ability to plan activities related to those goals and follow steps in a task. Enhanced self-management and self-regulation skills, also improved critical learning skills, classroom involvement, and on-task behavior were discovered by Agren et al. Self-determination skills increase personal and social responsibility, enhance social problem-solving skills, improved social skills and choice-making, problem-solving, self-regulation, self-esteem, and self-advocacy. Self-determination skills improve quality of life. Students with high self-determination have been found to be more likely to live independently. Students enhance their participation and independence in accomplishing community activities. Individuals with high self-determination were more likely to have expressed an interest in living outside the family home, having a checking or savings account, and being employed for pay. People who take greater control over their lives are more likely to have a higher quality of life. And then enhanced networks have been shown to be increased for students with higher self-determination. The size of their support network is improved. They can recruit more support, get assistance with personal goals, make friends, develop social networks, etc. Improved ability to obtain accommodations for employment, housing, academic, and leisure activities is also noted through these enhanced networks and through self-determination skills. Let's look at a fine example.
I'm Jeremiah Sullivan. I have ADHD, so it's sometimes hard for me to stay still or sometimes for me to pay attention. So in school, I have an IEP, and I mainly started to get involved with my IEP back in middle school. I really found out about it. I had learned that the disability doesn't define me. I learned that just because I have a disability doesn't mean that I'm too different from everybody else. And sometimes being different is a good thing. I first became a I'm Determined leader the second year I went to the Youth Summit. They taught me that just basically to get in my comfort zone and so that I can pay attention to what I'm actually doing on my math homework. I recently graduated from high school. My plans for the fall are actually I want to go to Germanna Community College for general studies, and then I want to transfer over to JMU or VCU. I want to major in information technology. The journey of a lifetime means, to me, how you look at life and how you can handle the things that come about in life.
Some of the statistics I gave you previously were from the Wademeyer and Palmer 2003 study that examined the outcomes of students based on their scores of self-determination in high school. After 3 years from graduating high school, the study provided confirmation of the potential benefits to young people who had high and increased self-determination. Please understand that instruction to promote self-determination will improve access to general curriculum for your students, as well as enhance progress in that curriculum. So with that, at a very young age, supporting self-determination will help students meet academic and then later on transition goals. And then ultimately, the research shows higher post-secondary success. I have another video clip for you to see a student in an environment that has been created to make sure she can be successful. And it really exemplifies that by creating an environment that allows for a student to be a success, That improves student motivation. It gives opportunities for self-determination and allows the student to see the benefits. And check out this amazing young lady's story.
Students with multiple disabilities usually are the most left out. They tend to present with a lot of challenges, physically, medically, cognitively, and most people don't tend to take the time to really dive in. And self-determination provides them an opportunity to truly let the world know who they are and what is the best things about them, and to let the world know that they also have needs and are aware of them and can advocate for themselves.
What I hope that they see is a student who's able to interact and engage with other people, that they will encourage that. I hope that they design and develop activities that will keep the kids interested, because if the kids aren't interested, they're going to get bored, they're going to do nothing.
Over the years, I've had the pleasure to work with many children who have now grown into young adults, and I've been constantly amazed at the things they've been able to accomplish when we have really high expectations for them. What I found is that children or young adults who depend on others, it can be very easy for them to just let other people do things for them. But when we step back and say, no, we need you to do that for yourselves, and teach them how to do that and encourage them to see the pride that they show, and then to see them carrying that out throughout their routines, has been incredible. Everything from mobility to communication to advocacy, self-advocacy. It helps them to become young adults and then members of their community.
How did it feel to be part of your IEP?
I like it. It's important for me to be involved in meetings about me.
Row one.
It's extremely difficult when you have a child who doesn't want to work with you. I'm working with one child, young adult right now, and he would love it if I would leave him alone. So sometimes it's real difficult to get a child to show you what they can do with someone that they have known and feel comfortable with for a long time. But I think people have to keep trying. I think they have to ask questions, and we don't mind if people call us up and say, hey, what was so-and-so's favorite activity, or what are some ways that we can get so-and-so to do such and such. And I would like people to really think outside of the box and say, how can I engineer a typical activity and include this child in it?
I want you to raise your expectations for kids. I want you to know that they can learn academic skills. They can learn reading, writing, math, history, science. It's going to be your choice and really your challenge to differentiate instruction for these kids. Every kid is not the same. They're going to be in your classrooms, and you're going to have to make adaptations to everything you do with these kids.
If they can think of how to engineer an activity and how to make it so that everybody can be included in that activity, then it'll be great for everybody, whether you're working with typical kids or kids with autism or kids with cerebral palsy or Down syndrome. I mean, that's what I would like to see more of. Unfortunately, when I go into classrooms, I see a lot of kids watching TV. Classrooms, I see a lot of kids watching TV and stuff like that, and I would like them to be more active.
What are you proud of?
I am proud of all the progress I have made using my communication device in order to communicate with others. I am also proud of all of the friends I have made.
You're going to have to assess and figure out where the kids are, but just know that they can learn these things. They can learn all of this academics. They can have productive lives in the community. They can have jobs. They can make their own money. They can vote. They can do all of these things. It's our charge to figure out, how do we differentiate that? How do we make it meaningful for them? And that's the piece that I want every teacher to take away, is you can do this, they can learn, and it's gonna be hard, but doing stuff that's right isn't always easy.
How will my students benefit from self-determination skills? Well, here goes. Self-determination provides us as educators with a way to engage students in planning for their futures and working toward their goals. This is not only for IEPs. Self-determination skills should be used to set and work toward personal goals as well. Self-determination provides students with lifelong skills that they can use in social situations now and later in life. These skills can be used at school, on jobs, at home, and community environments. For example, students who decide to go on to college or technical school need to be able to communicate their disability and need certain accommodations in school. Students still in high school can also talk to their high school teachers regarding their accommodations. What's more, students also need to be able to appropriately communicate with their employers. We all do better work in school or community social situations if we have an understanding of how we tick or what works well for us and what doesn't. Students who use self-determination skills are aware of how they may typically respond in social situations and adjust as needed. A student who is very shy or soft-spoken knows when and how she does need to speak out for herself. Self-determination helps students move from entitlement programs, or school special education in this case, to eligibility programs for people with disabilities outside of schools. Special education services are considered an entitlement program because according to IDEA, school districts must identify children with disabilities and provide them with a free, appropriate public education. This includes supports and services the students may need in order to learn. Students are entitled to these services simply by being in school. Eligibility programs include adult agencies such as Vocational Rehabilitation, GVRA, Centers for Dependent Living, services for people with developmental disabilities, and mental health agencies. In addition, colleges, universities, and vocational tech school programs are eligibility programs. These programs are not required to seek out students who may have a disability. People with disabilities must identify themselves as such and provide information to assist the agency or entity to provide any needed accommodations or services. A solid foundation in self-determination skills gives students experiences in school making decisions, using resources, and communicating effectively that they can carry with them their entire lives and use in education, employment, home, and community environments. So, as we move on in the next lesson, you'll learn more about how to directly support development of self-determination. But I also want you to remember that it's the environment and the culture in your school that can also enhance student success by setting high expectations. You can contribute to student self-determination as easily as that. Here's your last bit of inspiration in video and another way for you to consider and think about how a culture in school can really enhance student self-determination, and students that are self-determined and students that can advocate for themselves. What kind of perception do you have of those students? Take a look and see.
The video that will be coming to you in a few minutes is called the Youth Credo. It is a statement of belief by fellow youth in this room. It was started at last year's Self-Determination Youth Summit in Roanoke, Virginia. Over the summer, youth used the wiki and the social network called Facebook to discuss the Credo and make changes to it. The idea for the Credo came from the Credo to Support, a short video we saw on YouTube during last year's Youth Summit. Ladies and gentlemen, I am proud to present the Youth Credo.
Do not leave me behind.
Do follow me.
Do not assume I need your help.
Ask me if I need your help.
Do not labor me.
Do accept me for who I am.
Do not think that you know about people with disabilities.
Do educate yourself about all disabilities.
Do not assume I want to be like you.
Do assume I like the way I am.
Do not assume what you know is normal.
Do presume that nobody is normal.
Do not hold me to your standards.
Do recognize that I have my own standards.
Do not see me through my disability.
Do see me as an individual.
Do not cut me down to size.
I do explain my pronoun.
Do not call me by my label. Do call me my name.
Do not be friends with me because you feel sorry for me.
Do be my friend because of who I am.
Do not tell me what I can do.
Do let me show you what I can do.
Do not patronize me.
Do be understanding and helpful when I ask for assistance.
Do not help me for your own benefit.
Do help me for me.
Do not express your hate.
Do express your love.
Do not attempt to run my life. Do let me make my own decisions.
Do not stare at me.
Do talk to me.
Do not judge me.
Do respect me.
Do not deny me.
Do show me the way.
Do not doubt me.
Do trust me.
Do not assume I am stupid.
Do let me show you that I'm smart.
Do not call me inferior.
Do call me intellectual.
Do not leave me behind.
Do follow me.
1, 2, 3.